Hey everybody, welcome back to Football Talks. In this week's episode, we're going to go over the Game Week 4 games, all the scores. It was, pretty interesting week, I'd say. I'd say most games all went how we thought they would, except for one, unfortunately, which we'll get to. So let's go and hop right into it. Our first game of the week was Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest, which was actually Ange's return to the Premier League. I feel like he was just here. So not that great of a start for Ange at Forest, but I think we all kind of expected Forest to struggle this game. I mean, Arsenal are pretty good this year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Arsenal, they only conceded one goal thus far.
Really? I did not know that.
Yes, and that was against who? Number one, first place.
Well, they got a conveyor belt full of defenders. One defender gets hurt, just,
True.
the next guy comes in.
Well, this is the first game that Eze started.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that was pretty interesting. What are your thoughts on
was.
how he played?
For me, he did pretty well. You can tell that he still got to make a jump, but adjust to how the team is and their process and how their combinations. But other than that, he looked good. He looked good. I think it's gonna be a great addition for Arsenal.
Yeah, I would say watching that game, I think Matchweek had a really good game. He was killing Ndoye. There was one specific play. He ran down the line. I think dribbled past him and then crossed it. Something happened, but it was kind of embarrassing. Nottingham Forest, Murillo hurt. Aina hurt. I don't know. They're looking rough. They're looking really rough, and Ange is now going to have to make something happen.
And he's not a very defensive coach. He's more of an attacking coach, which was a problem with Spurs last season, and we mentioned that in the previous videos. Aina, I have him in my fantasy, so I'm gonna have to bye-bye Aina. He did pretty well for me last season, but yeah, and Wood, wow, not insistent. I mean, he had one shot. I think it would hit the post or something. Yeah. But other than that, it was just
there's just not enough creativity, and I really think Forest have built their team this season to try to compete in the Europa League because they made it that far. I think, in my opinion, they may just be like, screw the league. Like, they don't really care about the results against the big teams and stuff. But against the European oppositions, when they play in the tournament, I think they're going to go hard and really focus on that and try to win a trophy.
I mean, you can go hard, but if injuries are going to make it or break it for you, it's going to be a little difficult.
Yeah. Well, I will say they recently just got Zinchenko from Arsenal, who's a left back, who would have been Aina's cover. But because he's on loan from Arsenal, he couldn't play against Arsenal. So that was kind of messing their defense up. I think they had like a center back playing left back who to your point, Matchweek had a crazy first half and he was killing him.
Yeah.
And then they got injuries. So I think, they still have a solid team, but it's just going to be a bit for Forest.
Hey, what about Mendy? Wow. What a performance for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 2 goals.
He's been doing good for them.
Yeah, he's getting more comfortable. He's getting up there. Nice goals. I mean, the first one was nice. It kind of deflected of one of the players, but still, I mean, yeah, I liked it.
I've been telling them we don't really care for Arsenal, obviously, but at this point, we're going to need some Arsenal players in our FPL teams. It's killing us. These Arsenal fans, they have them, and boy, they're shooting up to the top. So definitely a wise choice if you're like us. Probably think about getting some Arsenal players in your team. They're just on fire right now, and I hate to admit it, but they really are.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to be careful because there's gonna be rotation. Champions League starting this week, on Tuesday, and they do have depth, so they're gonna rotate some players.
But if they're like us, where we have none, well, I'm sorry, he has Gabriel.
Thank you.
Who's now over $6 million, which is ridiculous. Which I understand why, but still, I'm like, really?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get Raya. I think Raya is gonna be a good addition. I do need him in there, because I only have Gabriel. I need another one, and I do, and it's for certain that Raya is gonna start.
Yeah,
you never.
There's certain positions that Gabriel, Saliba, if he wasn't injured, Raya, they're gonna play no matter what.
Usually the fullbacks and some of the mids and the top, usually the ones that get rotated.
Yeah.
Depending
Odegaard
on
and Declan Rice usually always play.
Seems like Gyökeres is going to be pretty main in the team because they don't have a backup for Gyökeres unless they put Marino up there.
Yeah.
That's the only option.
Because what's his name is hurt.
Havertz.
Yeah. So, good win for Arsenal. We called that one, right? Clean sheet.
Yeah, that was easy.
Thank you, Gabriel. 9 points. Appreciate that. Anytime, get me more points, the better. Thank you very much. So we move on to the next game. Bournemouth versus Brighton. What about that game, huh?
I was gonna say Semenyo came through for me.
Yeah.
Man, he's just one of those players. It doesn't matter how the team's doing. He pulls through, man.
Yeah, and he's on PKs for the team.
I saw that.
Evan Nilsson was on the pitch at the same time, and
Evan Nielsen used to always take it. I thought before, right?
he's the main man. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, his performance. I mean, the assist and the goals that he's been scoring. What wouldn't you? You know, and getting his confidence. He's so confident in that. I mean, to me, yes, I'm actually considering getting him. But you know, yeah, Birch is not doing it for me right now. But I'm looking at Semenyo.
Do we know what place Bournemouth is in right now?
They are, I want to say fourth.
Yeah, they're up there.
They're up there. Well, they have 3
They're
wins
up there.
and 1 loss. Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's crazy because you go back and we were like mid to,
They're
or
struggling.
I know I said mid to
Yeah.
lower, but they're doing really well.
It's the Areola is such a good coach, and he's turning like players like Alex Scott. I remember they bought him a few seasons back, and he came into the club, and everyone knew he was a very talented young player. But I mean, he's performing well. I remember last week in Spurs, he had this really dangerous outside the foot cross. It was like a De Bruyne-esque cross, and now he's scoring. This week was a banger. So I mean, they have players that are technical. At the same time, they run, man. They run their ass off, and that's why they're so high. They play intense football, and they do it well. So they deserve to be where they're at.
No,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree. They're very
Yeah, I agree.
disciplined and they're able to defend, but also, like you said, counter and to do something like that, to make a team want to do that, to recognize that in your players and put them in the right formation in the right place. And it's very difficult. So you're right. Congrats to the manager as of right now. And just in general, even if they lose, like you can tell like he is a good manager. They did well last season as well. So but the next game we have is Newcastle versus Wolves. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So the new guy, this is all about the new striker, Voltamate, coming in, scoring a header on his debut, which honestly is really good news for Newcastle because that's the one position they've been like struggling, right?
Right.
And watching him play over the international break, he didn't look too great, but I mean, like, all you need is that first goal. So, I mean, he's off the mark.
So I realized when after he scored the goal, I was looking at him like, holy crap, this dude looks like Young Gravy. Have you seen Young Gravy?
Yeah, he does.
I'm like, hey, if you don't know who Young Gravy is, I believe he's a rapper.
Yeah.
But he's like 6 foot tall. He's very skinny. Looks just, you need to Google him. I promise they look like brothers.
Yeah.
It's wild. But to your point, I think that's all they needed was the striker. And, you know, it's one goal, but a goal is a goal. And so he filled that spot in. You know, Wisa, once he's back, I think that's going to help Gordon. Gordon with the striker, I'm telling you, I really truly think outside of obviously Isak who left, but Gordon is who they're missing right now.
Yeah.
I think he'll be that final addition to the team.
I mean, they play Wolves. You know, Wolves just did not have their forward. You know, Larson's hurt. I still think Newcastle needs to reinforce their middle. I still think once they get they play against stronger teams. They're definitely having attacking force. I mean, you saw Barnes and Murphy. They had several opportunities. So it was good to see their combination there. But Newcastle, their attacking is on point thus far. So good for them. I mean, still 1-0, but a win is a win. So, but yeah, Newcastle. Ooh.
Yeah, I wouldn't be saying 1-0 after how your team played today. So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
The next game we have was Everton versus Villa, and kind of a shocker, but kind of not a shocker given how Villa's been playing.
Yeah.
I will say Everton. To me, I didn't look at the stats afterwards, but it almost just by watching seemed like Everton had the ball a little bit more than Villa, or had more attacks. It felt like.
Yeah, honestly, it was pretty even. I think Everton had a few more shots, but I mean, neither team really had any like amazing opportunities. Villa, actually, I saw something that said they are the only team in the England's top division, so that's including all the teams below them, like Championship, League One, and League Two. They're the only team not to score a goal this season yet.
Yep.
And that's crazy because I have Rodgers in my team, so I don't know why he's sitting there in my team.
Dang.
So it's just another bad game for Villa. I mean, They gotta pick it up soon. I thought they would maybe win this one and turn it around, but I guess not. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it seemed like Villa's defense was like on survival mode a little bit. And overall, it just feels like they can't feed Watkins. Like Watkins is having to drop back. And, he's one of those players that like he really needs someone to feed him. He's not like, to me, he's not like a João Pedro that can kind of play, dropped a little bit more and does well that way. No, he needs to stay up front. He's a true striker. And just, they need someone in the middle to help.
Yeah, Martinez. What a performance for him. Trying to keep Villa in.
Yeah,
he really, he started. It was a strong return for him. He made several big saves. Everton, their main guy is Jack Grealish.
Oh yeah, everything was going through him.
Everything's going. He had a strong performance. Burning on the left and causing issues there, and try to work and get the ball across. So it seems like if you kind of shut that side down, they won't have much because they're relying heavily on him. And then do you see what's it? Digny? He's the bump above the right eye. I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah, and he went back in. I was like, he can still play with that, but still, you're like, holy crap.
To me, Villa team like kind of disorganized. They struggle under pressure. For majority of the match, and it was Everton game. To me, it was like an Everton game. Yeah. So, and good for them.
One thing I do want to add is Keane. He was attacking a lot. He was like,
he had a few opportunities.
He had insane last game. I'm like, where this guy comes out of nowhere. It's the height. A lot of it's the headers, but still, I was like, wow, that's impressive.
I remember he was a bit of like a meme back in the day with Everton. Like he would always score own goals and stuff. So with Braithwaite being out, I feel like he's kind of stepping up.
Yeah, well, this was a crucial point for Villa, though.
They're
at the bottom of the table still, but it's Everton at home, get the 1 point. Yeah, I mean, for them, it's a win for the most part.
Yep.
Yeah.
Goalless win.
So for our next game, another kind of a boring game, Sunderland versus Crystal Palace here. 0-0, right? So, I mean, this kind of makes sense when you think about it due to Crystal Palace's injuries, kind of where they're at. They lost their main creative, then they lost Wharton. Their new guy, Europino, he played, but I mean, just not a lot of chances in this game. I was watching it for a bit and then I turned it off because it was like, there's nothing happening here.
Yeah, same. Yeah. We had it on for a little bit. I don't know about you, Junior, but I didn't even write anything for this because it was boring to me. I think, was it Kamada? He had like 2 chances that were pretty close, on goal. But outside of that, it wasn't really impressive. But still, I guess, Sunderland could have scored against Palace. This would have been their time to, given Palace's injuries. But, Palace still held it together defensively. That's another thing. Palace have a good run of fixtures coming up FPL-wise too. So maybe look in their defense. Their defense is pretty strong. And then the nice thing about them is that some of their defenders are a little more expensive, and then there's cheaper ones. So you can really save some money and get some good points.
Yeah, I mean, Palace 15 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
So that's good for them.
Wow. Is that a record for them?
Not sure if it's a record, but it's still a good record.
Yeah,
one of the best teams in Europe, I'd say.
Yeah. And it was, it's good for them in that performance. Yeah, 0-0 against Sutherland. Sutherland put up a game, but I read something that Sutherland did not have any shots on goal. Unlike Palace, they had like 6 shots on goal, and they're double shots in general when it came to the amount of shots they took compared to Sutherland. But the first half was kind of scrappy. A few chances. It was, like you say, it was kind of boring. And I know you mentioned last video, you're like you had a lot of ties. So yeah, you kind of.
I think I guessed all the games correctly besides 2, which was, of course, City. We'll get to that.
I know you're happily glad you.
I'm happy. There's a reason. And then the other game, I believe, was, I can't remember, but
you said Chelsea to win.
It was Chelsea. Yeah. I mean, you called that one. I guess I should have just gone with huge super Chelsea fan, keeping up with it all. But outside of that, I was pretty on point for a lot of them.
Yeah, I actually made the comment like, wow, a lot of ties this week, and I see why.
I was on point for that, but not on point for my FPL team. That was pretty bad.
I can't say that. So,
I took a -8. You know, in the FPL world, if you know, that's not many people don't do that. I like to risk it. I'm a very aggressive FPL player. It used to work out for me. Yeah, not this season. Did not work out. So, but anyway, next game we have is Fulham versus Leeds, and that was about to end in a tie.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a tie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
That was about too. But who scored the last goal? Because I didn't even get to that. I thought it was over, and then you told me you're like they scored. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, it was kind of a last minute goal. Honestly, I can't even remember exactly how the goal went about. But to me, Leeds had several opportunities. You know, but it's like I say, these new teams, the newly promoted teams, they're
not easy to beat.
No, they're not.
Leeds has so many opportunities, so many games, but they cannot finish. Like you said, every shot was flying over, the goal, past the goal to the right, left, wherever. Yep. Just get it in the goal. If they could just do that, they could win these games.
Yeah.
I felt like they were on Fulham's defense.
Well, Leeds had 10 shots overall, unlike Fulham had 5. So that tells you who were shooting.
They were. Yeah. They were in the 18 a lot. They could just not finish. And I really, you've been saying it, I focused. I mean, you don't really have to, but I was watching and I'm like, holy crap, you're right. It's pretty bad.
Leeds had a good performance. It would have been good for them to tie because it was Fulham at home. Yeah. But they can tell, they're getting it there. I think they had the early chance. Because I noticed that Leeds, especially when they come out, it kind of reminds me a little bit like Manchester United when they first come out. They're like, oh, they got so many opportunities. But Leeds is not able to get it there. So if they're able to score when the game first starts, then they'll probably be able to maintain that or at least come out with a tie. So, they defensively they did good, especially in the final third. But they struggled to break Leeds out. Just like, my team a little bit, but we still come out with a win. But anyway.
Oh my God. Well, the next game is Tottenham versus West Ham. Oh my gosh, don't even talk to me about that. I have Johnson on my FPL team, and he was benched. And he comes in the last 2 minutes, basically, and doesn't do shit. Yeah, I was pissed. This was Xavi Simons' debut, however you want to say it. And I was not impressed. I didn't think it was that great. Honestly, I think Tottenham should have scored more against West Ham, considering West Ham had a red card.
Well, that was the turning point when West Ham got that red card, because that's where the goals started coming in. Yeah. Of course, Sarr, good man, good job, well done, Sarr. And then Van de Ven, excellent performance. You called it too.
I called it.
I was only going for a clean sheet, but you say, how about a goal? I'm like, yes.
I'm the prophet.
Yeah, you guessed it right on the money.
But yeah, Junior, I agree. The turning point was that red card. And it actually, the game wasn't going heavily in Spurs' favor at that point. West Ham,
no, it wasn't.
They had some chances on the break. They had some chances in the first half through Paqueta, who's playing like a striker, actually.
Yeah.
So they were in it. It's just one of those things. I don't know why he flew into the challenge. You watched it, he does it, and then you could tell he's pissed with himself. Yeah. He knows he messed up.
I mean, you can't hide that gaping hole in your sock.
Yeah.
And he knows, and you're right. He doesn't put up a fight. He walks off, and he's like, yeah.
So it's one of those. It's one of those things. But I mean, to be honest, we expected Tottenham to win this.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Yeah, I just didn't expect. Man, I'm usually loyal to my players. Van de Ven, they didn't even think about him last season. I was the one who had Van de Ven. This season, I decided to do something different. Get Porro for the assist for all of that. He pushes up. Man, Van de Ven is pulling through for them. I have to go back.
Yeah, he actually got defensive points, and I mean, he did pretty well. He did very good. The red card really kind of messed up West Ham. To me, Tottenham was very deadly on the set pieces.
Yeah.
And West Ham is very weak defending set pieces.
Yeah.
They've been conceding too many goals that way. It's gonna be one of those things. What happens? Champions is starting, so a lot of rotation. So we'll see how these top teams, all the teams that are playing the champions, how are they gonna deal having 2 games a week? And who's gonna start? And that's gonna be key for FPL. Is who do you pick? And also keeping an eye on champions on see who gets hurt.
Yeah.
So to be able to adjust. So a lot of people like to jump. I usually jump right now and start getting me that player that was, that I think is gonna do well next week. But now I'm hesitant, especially if it's those top those teams that are playing Premier Champions.
Yeah, you just have to be careful because then they go up in price, and by the time you need them, you could be 0.1 short.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's really also a game about luck and timing and all that.
So the next game, drum roll. Brentford versus Chelsea.
I don't give no one a drum roll for that.
Yeah.
A tie?
That's pretty bad.
It should have been a win. It should have.
Yeah, so I think Maresca, he rotated the team a lot. I mean, we have a hard game coming up on Wednesday against Bayern Munich. And it's like it was a combination of the rotation where we had players in key positions where we had Hato and Gittins on the same side. We're both new, very young, inexperienced players. But I thought I had really rough first halves. Hato got hooked. And then on top of that, we're just coming back from international break. We had a lot of guys coming over from Brazil. And Brentford are already a bogey team for us. I don't know, we've only beaten them one time since they've been up in the Premier League, which is pretty crazy to think about. Even in Stamford Bridge, they beat us there. So I just think, we played down to their level. I didn't think they played good at all. They just kept throwing the ball in the box, which, it worked. So kudos to them. But it's really disappointing. It's kind of deflating because Caicedo had that banger. I thought that was it. I was like, oh yeah, like that's Caicedo's moment because I know how good he is. I've been watching him. But sometimes I feel like he doesn't get the respect that he deserves from people from other teams and other fans. But I mean, still, Palmer's back, so that's a good positive. I'm happy for that.
Well, he scores, so
yeah.
And that's what I have here. Every time we have Palmer, does great one game, then boring as heck, gets injured. You have to get him out of your team. Then he comes back and scores like 4 goals. Remember that last season? I believe it was.
We took him out right before the Brighton game last season.
And he punished us. Punished. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Same thing with this game. We got rid of him, I think a lot of people did. And here he goes scoring. And I think that's just the game he likes to play. Like you can't, but it's hard to keep a player like that in your FPL team. You want someone that isn't going to be injured. But I agree with you. I don't think the starting lineup was good. Once they made the subs, you could really tell the momentum shifted.
Cuckoo came in.
As I say, seeing Cuckoo. So the other thing that I worried about, I had Johnson bench, who all of a sudden isn't playing. Cuckoo was benched. I was like freaking out. Cuckoo comes in. Homeboy's like a third striker. I mean, like he is up the field. He's back.
Yeah.
And I just love it. I love the freedom. I love the passion.
And the hair flowing as he runs.
The hair. He can match. I just love it.
Yeah, and I will say that's part of the reason why that guy Hato in the first half, he was so ineffective because you see he was playing Cucurella's position. He was trying to. But I mean, nobody can do it like him.
And
he plays it well.
I think when Cuckoo went in and you guys kept Gittins there, Gittins looked better.
He looked better.
He looked so much better.
The spacing was way better.
He was pushed up higher. And I think Cuckoo was there to assist him a little bit more on the passing.
Yeah.
It was just felt more fluid. But I did mention to Mario, one player, Reece James, I know he's captain, Chelsea fans are going to hate me for saying this, but to me, he's a little out of form. And I know he's injured a lot, but physically, he's a great player. It's just running, man. I don't know. Brent, some of those players exposed him a little bit there. I still think he needs to be in shape. So,
well, yeah. I mean, it's that the injuries that really takes a toll on you, and also try to get back into the mentality that you had before you went into injury. That's also going to take time. And all the new players that you have now, all the new weapons that you have, I have João Pedro. I captain João Pedro. Great assist. I was happy to see. And then I saw Palmer come in. I'm like, yes, João Pedro's going to do something. And thank you for that. Then I saw Garnacho come in. I'm like, okay, let's see what we do. Then Caicedo. My man, Caicedo. Woohoo! I had Caicedo from the beginning of the season. I know he's been giving me great points.
You better be loyal to him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got him. You got him.
You got to keep him. He's one of those players I'm realizing, even if Chelsea lose, he gets points, man.
Yeah. He'll get you at least the defensive points that is needed. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the defensive contributions, you can see that he's one of the highest up there on whatever team he plays against. And you see the hard work, the rate.
Yeah, he's not scared. He'll get stuck in. Very physical.
Which, to a point that you guys made, that will also put him in the line for a yellow. There was a foul that I'm like, oh my God, he's going to get a yellow. Luckily, he
Should
didn't.
have been a yellow. Any other game, they would have called it a yellow.
Yeah.
Again, consistency issues with the refs. I told him, and he knew it should have been a yellow.
Yeah, I was like prepared. I'm like, God dang, I'm gonna lose a point now. But he didn't. He didn't get yellow, so I was happy
You know
about
who he
that.
reminds me of? Conte a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I get with the tackling, yeah, but Conte was different. Conte was more of a drive. He drove with the ball. A lot
Yeah,
more.
I
Yeah.
know, but like defending wise, though, as the whole game,
Yeah.
to me, they're a little similar.
I mean, I love Caicedo, but I mean, Conte he's up there with
Yeah,
status
I
of
know he's
legends.
legendary for
Yeah.
you.
Now, for me, Brentford's lone throw, what an effective. Would that play or technique work on every game? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean,
But it worked for this game.
yeah, I mean, it's a weapon. You can't bring it on every game to your point, but it's a good
Yeah.
thing to have,
Yeah.
in case you need to scrap
Well,
a point.
The one of the things that I noticed, like the second goal, Garnacho should have been there.
Yeah.
And no one expected for the ball to go all the way across. It's but as a professional, you still gotta be ready
Yeah,
for
I
that.
agree. Yeah.
If Garnacho would have been anticipated that, he would have been there to block that or to kick the ball out. But yeah, to me, when it comes to awareness to the Chelsea team, that's where they need more. When it comes to defending the set pieces, but at the end of the day, it was a tie, and you play at Brentford, so that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. It's not the end of the world. It's not a loss. We still haven't lost this season, so that's always good news. Keep the morale high. And to your point, I think right now what's separating us from being a top team, I think we're still up there for like fifth, fourth, third. But to be up there, you need to be able to concentrate and play a full game. So we're going to the next game, which is Liverpool. They didn't play great, but they played the whole game, and then they took their chance at the very last minute. So let's go on to it. The Liverpool-Burnley game, 1-0 to Liverpool.
Okay, so yes, Burnley pretty much just stuck the box. They were playing a 5-3-2.
Yep.
The whole time. They are in the championship last season. They were the defense that had the few goals scored against them.
I think they have the best.
Yeah,
defense.
the best defense when it comes. So they are very disciplined and structured when it came to that. We pretty much possessed the whole game. The only thing when it comes to when you are such a defensive and you go there to defend is that when it comes to a quick counter, it's going to take a little bit longer. It's going to take you more of a work, but then that exposes you for a quick counter. So Burnley, to me, wanted a tie, and that's what they were shooting for.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So it was. We possessed, we control, we won, and now we're still undefeated. We got the 12 points. First place, baby. First place.
Yeah, I just think y'all are just lucky.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I agree.
Liverpool they got luck on their
Yeah,
side.
the free kick.
This game was not
Yeah.
skill at all, pure luck. The only skill may have been the fact that Salah can finish a PK, and that's it. Ekatike barely touched the ball. That was my captain for the week. So very disappointed in that. I've had a hell of a freaking week between Johnson not playing, Cuckoo coming off bench late, and then that happening. And so overall, I'm mad about FPL, but in general, to your point, when teams play you, and teams should just honestly play Liverpool like this, play them defensive to just get the tie. I mean, outside of like the top teams or Bournemouth, all of a sudden they can beat them. But outside of teams like that, like if you're a lower level team, I would just go for the tie and play very defensive because Liverpool struggle with that. That is their weakness. It's very hard to do, but it can be done.
I think that's anybody's weakness, to be honest with you. When you stack the box and you play in the back and you have everybody inside that 18, it's kind of hard to score. Now, if
I know, but we're talking about your team. We want your team to lose.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. When
I'm
we're
trying to break down
80%.
Liverpool from winning the league all the freaking time, okay?
Well, one thing I'm going to tell you that I was disappointed is not seeing Isak. I wanted to see Isak today to get some minutes. I know the champions is coming this week. Yeah. So I know they're saving him for that. And but yeah, I agree. I wanted to see more, but we were trying to force it. To me, that we should have taken more shots. Salah, I don't know. It was like trying to make his move to the left. It usually doesn't work anymore. It's one of those things. But hey,
he keeps defending his team. I didn't even finish. He started defending him right away. Okay. Yeah. So we can talk poop about your team. It's okay.
My
They
undefeated
won.
team. Undefeated team.
They won. Let us talk crap.
They did win, but still.
Well, Man City versus Man United.
Let's go. We got that done.
Right.
I obviously was not okay. So I was trying to be pessimistic last time because you just never know. But look, it may have worked because we won. I mean, like I said last video, all you had to do was get Holland the ball.
Yeah.
Get him on the ball.
They played him actually in behind.
That's what I'm saying. Doku, I mean, yes, like I said last time, he does great beating players, but look, he knew when to pass this time. He knew, and Holland was making those runs through for him. He finished like two great. I mean, he scored 2 goals, right? Yeah, and both of them are really good goals. But United look rough. Yeah. I don't know what's gonna. United just, I don't even know. What are your thoughts on United?
Well, I want to say what I noticed. Okay, so we seen United play Manchester City and play Arsenal. Okay, Manchester City has the numbers to do a quick counter. Arsenal doesn't really go that style. What exposed United was the quick counter because United was pressing high.
Yep.
And the quick counter with Haaland, with Reinders and Foden and Dope, with the speedsters that you guys have, that makes a hell of a difference. And most of the times you see that Man United defenders like Maguire flat-footed, and then Haaland just took it. Unlike Arsenal. Arsenal is not that kind of team. Arsenal would like push up and then bring the ball back and move it around and do all that stuff. So that's why Man United was able to contain Arsenal better.
Yeah.
Than Man City.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think United, just their shape overall, this 3 at the back system that Almirum's trying to play, it doesn't make any sense to me. Their midfield is so exposed. Like you said, they were pressing so high, and they don't have midfielders who are good at retaining the ball. Bruno's a good player, but he's trying these like behind, like no look, round the corner passes to play to the striker, gets intercepted, and now Ugarte, who's already not a good player, I don't rate him at all. I don't think United fans like him very much either. He's all of a sudden trying to mark Foden, and then Mark Reinders running on through, and then Doku. Yeah. It's the way they're set. It's like they're set up to fail. United are going to score. They're going to win some games this season because they have good attacking players like Mbeumo.
They were missing Cunha this game, I think.
Cunha. Even if Cunha played, I don't think it would make that much difference.
I don't think they would have won the game or anything, but
they would have scored.
They would have changed. I think it would have changed the momentum. My other thing that was interesting is I don't care for Harry Maguire, but I would have started him as a center back instead of putting him in as a sub. I think sometimes experience, he's, been in games like this, would have maybe helped. Yeah. I think they still would have lost, but I think sometimes you should, put players like that in. But overall, I don't know what's going to happen. Should the manager get sacked at this point? Maybe. Some people are saying it's his tactics, and then the commentators are like, well, he's trying what he can, and it's up to the players just being aware and, being more disciplined and not making mistakes.
Well, to me, it was like, he can only do so much. He came in the middle of last season with a team that was built not for him, and a team that was struggling to begin with. Mm-hmm. So right now, their first games are like hard teams. You play Arsenal, you play Manchester City. Who did they play last week?
Burnley.
So, and Burnley is a very defensive team. And they still came up, they came up with the win, even though it was at the last minute, but still. It's just, to me, the coach addressed attacking because that was a problem. I don't think he has addressed that defensive side. Yeah. And he has to get rid of some players to do so. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be a transition. And all these attacking players that he got, you can still see that they're not connecting well.
Well, that's the problem, right? It's not the fact they're losing. Like, if you're losing games, but there's clear progression, that's fine. I think United fans will get behind that. But in my opinion, it's like they're not really progressing well. They got knocked out of that cup, and they're losing this game. Like, the Arsenal game was a good sign of progression. Oh yeah,
right? I was like, oh my god,
we were all like, wow, like they look good. They keep playing like this, and then they played Fulham, and it was kind of like, all right, they're going back again. And then they got knocked out of the cup, and then they barely beat Burnley, and it's like, okay, there's a little bit of hope there. Let's see what they can do. And then they play this game, and it's just like there's not much there. It's
now, and
not
Burnley did not play them as defensive as they played
no,
Liverpool.
because Burnley knows you can get at United.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So that's why Man United was able to score those goals.
Yeah.
But the end of the day, Manchester City came up with a needed win.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad, I guess for your sake, I'm glad you were wrong.
Yeah, I'm glad she was wrong too because Holland came through for me. So.
Hey, but that's game week 4, everyone. So again, thank you for listening to our analysis. And please don't forget to like,
subscribe, and what I want to add one more thing. We do have a second video coming out later this week on game week match predictions. So keep an eye out for that.
Be sure to check it out and hit the notification button, guys. We'll see you next video.
Bye.